Hey there, church family. We are just moving right along here. We are at the halfway point, and I'm very excited about that. And I hope you're getting a lot out of this. So let's just jump right into what we're going to be talking about today, which is adultery and lust. I hope you've read through the devotion and Bible passages for today. Just a quick recap: if you're just watching this video for the first time, and you haven't watched any of the other ones or been part of the whole month-long online study, this is a YouVersion Bible study on Sermon on the Mount. It's part of the November 2025 30 Days in the Bible Challenge. And you can join along with us and follow along by, if you don't already have the YouVersion app on your phone or tablet, getting it, creating an account, then looking for me on there. I am Michael at kwe.net. Once you find me, send me a friend request. I accept the friend request, and then you can see the studies I'm doing. You'll see Sermon on the Mount, and you can click on that one and do it and catch up to us. And here we go. So one thing I wanted to point out here in just looking through the devotion is just that kind of towards the end here, where it says, in today's world we are surrounded by images and videos that portray actions that are contrary to God's word and are not good for us or others. Pornography is a well-organized and aggressive industry. Believers must be careful about what they see, not only what they do. And of course, that's what Jesus was talking about in the verses for today too. He was talking about not just the things you do, but the things you think about doing, the things you fantasize about doing. It's also important to know and understand that definitions have changed over the years, and especially I would say in the last 50 to 75 years, definitions have changed a lot, on especially in terms of what is pornographic, or what is not, or what is contrary to God's word and what isn't. So we need to keep that in mind too. When in doubt, don't do, don't think about it. That's always the best case, but you don't want to put yourself into, a tiny little box and barricade yourself away from everybody for fear of being tempted by the world. Because Jesus does not want us to do that. He commands us to go out into the world and proclaim His gospel. But with that said, let's answer the two questions here at the bottom. Well, one question and then a follow-up to it. Are you careful about what you watch and how you look at others? Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that's like, I don't even own a TV. Okay, well, that's fine. Some other people are like, well, it's just a TV show. What harm is it? Well, if you're watching a TV show that's really not something that is suitable for a good Christian person to be watching, then you are supporting that show, the company who makes that show, the people who make that show. So you are supporting something that is non-biblical. That's one way to look at it. And it would be a factual way to look at it in my mind. I don't believe necessarily that you have to subscribe to the, get rid of all the TVs in your house and only read, Bibles and Bible commentaries and things like that either. There's a lot of good TV shows out there, especially today. There's really a lot of good Christian-based, or at least clean TV shows and movies out there. So there are things to watch if you want to watch. If you want to be entertained with a television. And of course, if you encounter problems in this area, you need to seek assistance of the Lord and mature believers as soon as you can. Don't try to solve the problem. If you're, you watch a PG-13 movie as an example, and then, which today, a PG-13 movie is different than it was, 30 years ago. The standards, you want to see standards change. Look at what's allowed in a PG movie today versus a PG movie just 30 years ago or 20 years ago. I remember as a kid, when the PG-13 rating came out. Before that, you might have heard one or two cuss words in a PG movie. Then they came up with PG-13, so there's a lot more cussing. And I think now you can even sneak in some partial nudity in a PG-13 movie. I'm not sure about that. I could be wrong. But I think I had seen that somewhere before I read about that. But the standards are changing. I read a story about the movie The Dirty Dozen. Really good movie, war movie made in the 60s. And I watched that movie on television, obviously, because I was a kid, I was a baby in the 60s. Watched that movie on television. I watched it many times. And when it first came out in the, I think, mid to late 60s, it was, in the minds of the people back then, it was such a violent movie that it prompted the Motion Picture Association to actually change their rating system. That's when we came up with the G and the PG and the R and the X rating systems. Was because of that movie. And it was originally going to get an X rating because of the violence in that movie. And that movie can be seen on TV today unedited. Isn't that strange? It's just let you know how standards get lower day by day, year by year. We need to work to keep our standards high, keep the standards that Jesus gave us, keep working to maintain those standards, in our hearts and in our minds. And with that, that'll be enough for today to think about. I think that's a lot to ponder right there and work on. And we'll see you tomorrow.